Yeah, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Matthew Maley from MatthewMaley.com. Well, I'm on vacation for Thanksgiving out with the family, and even though I'm having all kinds of internet issues here at the Ritz, I still wanted to put together a video since it is Friday and it's time for another weekly movie review. So, even though I'm on vacation, I'm still hooking it up for y'all. I left the window open, so hopefully y'all can hear the waves in the background. But, had a flick this week that I actually spent $16.99 on, thanks to the pay-per-view prices here at the Ritz-Carlton. I'm saying I'm balling on a budget right now, and well, I'm not even balling on my own budget. Thankfully, I'm balling on somebody else's budget right now. So I got to take advantage of those $17 movies and the $30 plates of nachos that I've eaten 2 nights in a row. But anyway, I digress. I was able to check out a flick that I actually was really interested in when it first came out, because I'm big into the I don't want to say like female empowerment movies, but like I find it very attractive. Well, first off, y'all know how much I love guns. First off. Second off, I find it very attractive when a female can handle herself with firearms. It's probably part of the reason why I kind of liked Angelina Jolie in Salt more than I probably should have. So I was pretty excited when I heard about this movie, especially considering the fact that I very much like one of the main actresses in it, not just because she's gorgeous. I find that she's actually a good actress, though she needs to put on about 30 pounds, in my personal opinion. I'm speaking of Zoe Saldana. I think it's Zoe. Or is it Zoe? How do I not know that? That's sad. Well, either way, you guys know what I'm talking about. And the movie of Colombiana. Well, it also stars Jody Moya, who is most well known for Diego in everybody's favorite Johnny Depp movie. At least it should be, Blow, because that was by far his best movie. If you don't agree with me, well, tell me why I'm wrong, and I'll tell you why you're wrong. But I've always liked him in everything he's been in, even though he pretty much plays the same character in most everything, at least from an English standpoint. From what I've heard, he's a huge star in Spain. He like writes books and does plays and movies and probably paints. I don't know. He's a crazy artist, dude. It also stars Cliff Curtis. Now, if the name doesn't sound familiar, all good. Guarantee you know the face. Guarantee. And one kind of fun little aside, Cliff Curtis was also in Blow. Played Pablo Escobar in Blow. But one thing I think is funny about Cliff Curtis is he's literally played a Latin person 3 different times. He's been Colombian, he's been Mexican, he's been Arab. He was in 3 Kings. Remember that flick? Yeah, old school George Clooney. He's literally been in, I think he's probably been like 7 different nationalities. And in all honesty, he's actually Maori from New Zealand. Like the Maori Warriors, you know who they are. Come on. If you don't, pause this video, go to Wikipedia, check it out. They do some crazy stuff. But, so I'm a big fan of him as well. So I thought that was cool that they both were in the flick, since they've both been in Blow and actually shared a bunch of screen time in there. The basis of the movie is the main character, who's technically titled Colombiana, though it's funny because the term Colombiana is never once uttered through the entire movie. The beginning does take place in Colombia, but her name is not Colombiana, it's Catalina, which is named after an orchid. So she's named after an orchid, and after some falling outs with her father's employer, who just so happens to be a major criminal, drug lord, general bad guy in Colombia, her parents are murdered in front of her. I'm not giving anything away, so don't worry. You know how I am. I'll spoiler alert it. These are all things that you know just from watching the previews. So her desire is to get revenge. That's really the basis of the movie. She is able to get into America, at which point she tries to find and track down this maid Dawn, who had her family killed, and just kill him, essentially. There then leads into the subplot of she's actually leaving a message on each body, that of her flower, what she's named after, to try and attract the attention of this said Don, so that he'll try to strike at her and he can kill her. I mean, I'm sorry, she can kill him. Because, well, what do we live for if it isn't revenge? Honestly. It's probably one of the sweetest things, as messed up as that is to say. So, it sucks because I wanted to like this movie a lot. I really did. I came into it thinking it was going to be a movie that I was really going to like. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Miss Saldana since I am 6 o'clock in the morning here, and I really don't know if it's Zoe or Zoe. So we'll just say Miss Saldana. I'm a big fan of hers. I think she's a solid actress in everything I've seen her in, honestly. And I was excited to see what she could do, where she could stretch to be a tough girl of this generation, if you will. You know, that character that you cheer for as the anti-hero in a way. And I thought this was a perfect setup for it. She's a hitman. If that isn't cheering for the ultimate anti-hero, I mean, what else is there? But I gotta say that no matter how good she was, which I don't want to say she was bad, but I don't think she was anywhere near as good as she could have been. From other things that I've seen her in, I saw a much better range. I saw a much better just overall performance. Now, I will give her the excuse that it was horribly directed and the screenplay was pretty bad as well. So, because of that, I really do think that is part of what, you know, caused her to not give the best performance. Again, my 2 cents. It really ended up being more about her getting naked than anything else. And now, I know all of my male viewers are saying, hey, what's wrong with that? I agree. Gorgeous woman. If they're wanting to formulate a movie around her getting naked, okay. But I'm trying to be the objective viewer here, not simply the mid-20s attracted to beautiful women kind of guy. And actually, like I said, be objective. So, if you want to see her lots of underboob, side boob, and lots of panty shots, check out this flick. You'll love it for that. If you want to see a movie that actually has plot, has story development, has character development, has actual continuity, not lacking huge errors like the fact that she's carrying a very, very large sniper rifle. I believe I want to say it's a SIG variant. It might be a Steyr variant. It was sick though. I know I've looked at it before and I really wanted it, but it was like $8,000. 1 second, she's carrying it very blatantly since she's wearing nothing but little booty shorts and a braless shirt and carrying a rifle that is probably close to half of her very small frame. To the next second, where she's sliding down an elevator shaft, no rifle anywhere to be seen. To the next second, where she's crawling out of a vent, no rifle to be seen. To the next second, where she's walking again with said rifle. So, there were a lot of plot holes. And I really just gotta blame how it was written. I really think that this is what happens when certain films just get chopped to shit. And so much is just left on the cutting room floor to simply put a product in the hour and 38 minutes average time, saying one F word and having 16 people get shot and making whatever to fit into a PG-13 movie, which, at the end of the day, I really feel did damage to the overall film. I think this could have been a very good movie. I think this could have been one of the better female action characters, personally. Instead, it wasn't, to be quite honest. I don't want to give too much away in case anybody does want to see it, but there were just so many little things that I could nitpick at from, okay, spoiler alert, if you're going to watch the movie, pause it here, or plug your ears or something, but there's a scene in which she needs to threaten a CIA agent, and by doing so is going to have a high-powered scope. rifle with a laser sight on him to threaten him. Okay, well, prior to this, we have no knowledge that she has any idea who the CIA guy is. We have no knowledge that she would even need the CIA. We have no knowledge that she would ever know, even if she didn't know who the CIA agent was, she would know where he was located, therefore where she could set up her high-powered rifle. All those things just didn't add up. So that's just one of many things that really just did not add up, and I don't know, it really let me down because I was expecting so much more from it, and maybe I shouldn't have been. Maybe I set myself up. The positives, I will say, in addition to, you know, all of the shots of a beautiful woman, I really liked the character, and I cannot remember his name, I apologize, but he played Saul in Snatch, and if you haven't seen Snatch, don't even watch the rest of this video. Don't watch another one of my videos until you do, because it is in my top probably 5 favorite comedies of all times. I can't tell you how many times I've watched it. But he plays Saul from it, and he's an awesome character. And he actually plays one of the lead FBI operatives in this. So you get a lot of time with him, and I apologize, I can't remember his name. Go look up Colombiana on IMDb. But I will say he did a great job in it. I will also say the one thing I really did like, and this isn't really a spoiler, but just in case you want to, you know, go into the sight unseen, don't listen to this either. But one thing I really did like was a lot of movies will kind of take the easy route, and in order to make you like the main character who's doing bad things, they make their reasoning good. Like, they would have made it to be where her parents who were killed were actually good guys. We're actually trying to take down this Don. We're actually whatever. When instead, all it was is her dad was an assassin. Her dad was a hitman. Her dad killed people for this Don. And now she's going to try to murder the people who murdered her murderous father. The uncle that she comes and stays with in the U.S., Cliff Curtis's character, has killed multiple people and ends up being the contractor for her hitman business. So I like the fact that they didn't try to sugarcoat it. They didn't try to make it out like she's doing good work. Yeah, they did. The people that she killed were all bad people, but, you know, quote unquote. But at the end of the day, I mean, I can deal with that. That I can deal with. I'm just glad they didn't do the sissy route and just really sugarcoat it, trying to make you like her that much more, you know? So it was, I don't know, there was so many parts that could have been so much better, and the movie overall just could have been so much better, but instead it wasn't, you know? Instead it was really just kind of depressing and underwhelming. Oh, one other thing I gotta say, at the very end of it, the last song they play at the last scene and while the credits roll, one thing that I absolutely loved, they used Johnny Cash's remake of 9 Inch Nails' Hurt, which is one of my favorite songs of all time. I hate Johnny Cash. I don't like his music. I don't really care for him as a person. Well, cared for him as a person. I never got into that whole, like, yeah, I'm a rebel, yeah, you know, whatever. I already lived through Kid Rock. I don't need to live through anything else that happened years back. And I know I'm probably getting people cursing at me right now for saying that, but I was never into Johnny Cash. Sue me. And that song is perfection, as far as I'm concerned. So, just wanted to put that a little aside. My one other big complaint about the movie is they couldn't figure out what they wanted to do with her emotions. They have her in the very first scene, seeing her parents get murdered, shot to hell. She doesn't even cry. All she does is stab somebody in the hand and then parkour her way out of her third-story apartment while a 10-year-old and through the streets of Colombia, away from well-trained men with fully automatic weapons and motorbikes. Right. So Then the next second, when later some other people die, she's so torn up about it. She's screaming, she's breaking down, she's sobbing, and it didn't work. Like, I could understand if they would have developed that a little bit more. I could have gotten that. You know, if they would have just developed it and it would have been like, oh, okay, you know, this is the reason, you know, she's at peace when she's killing people, and, you know, when she's not this. But it was like there was no continuity, well, in the movie, but with her emotions at all. It was just like boom, 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 back and forth, and it didn't make sense. Same thing with all these sex scenes. They actually tried to use one of the sex scenes as like a pivotal moment, like a turning point in the movie, where constantly, as soon as she sees this guy who doesn't know anything about her because she's an assassin, this guy is attempting to, you know, fall in love with her. She constantly is the one who initiates the sex, just attacking him, you know, just mauling him. While one scene, she finally gives up control and lets him take over, which ends up turning the movie into, well, turns everything bad. It starts the shitstorm, if you will. But I just thought that was kind of funny. Like, you know, you're going to use a sex scene that you've been throwing in every 30 seconds into this movie as something pivotal? Come on. So, I know I've complained about it a lot. So what's my overall rating? Well, I was going to say 2 stars. But the use of hurt at the end of it, Saul from Snatch, Diego from Blow, and I've tried to fight it long enough, but my red-blooded manness, damn, she's beautiful, made it 2.5 stars. So don't see it. I wouldn't even red box it, to be quite honest. If you want to, see it, let me know what you think. Again, I'm not trying to say that you know, I'm not knocking her performance from, I mean, I am knocking her performance, but I'm not knocking her, like, overall tough girl, whatever. I bought that. There were a lot of things she did that I bought, like, pretty well. You know, she moved very well with the weaponry. She moved very well throughout these different hit missions. But there was just so much inconsistency that it was just, I just couldn't get past that. I guess maybe if I went into it with much lower expectations and didn't care that I spent, well, I don't really care that much that I spent $17 on the movie, but I don't know, maybe I would have liked it more, but overall, I just thought that there was so much left that could have been done to really make it a good movie, instead of or a quarter love story, half revenge, half murder for hire, half trying to do God's work and get rid of these bad people, have back to another revenge plot. I don't know, it just did too much inconsistency overall. So there's my review. Let me know what you think. Did you love Colombiana? And can anybody tell me why it's called Colombiana? Well, obviously, I mean, I understand she was from Colombia, but still, come on. They should have just called it Catalina. Was her name. But whatever. Overall, like I said, 2.5 stars. If you want to spend $1 on it at Redbox, be my guest. But don't expect much. And don't even expect much in terms of the murder scenes. It was funny, like, a lot of them were very violent, but it was still a PG-13 movie, so other ones were totally not violent to make up for those ones that were. But overall, there's my review on it. Let me know what you guys think. If you loved it, if you hated it, you love my review, hate my review, I'm sorry. Kind of went long there. Usually I keep my reviews to like 10 to like 13 minutes. I'm probably like 15 to 17. And even though this probably isn't going to get posted because I literally am running at less than 56K in the Ritz-Carlton right now because they're doing additions to their internet and upgrades, and I just so happen to get unlucky. You'd think they would have planned better, not done it on Thanksgiving weekend. Whatever, they've been really cool. So shout out to the Ritz-Carlton. Also check out my room review. I did a video of the Ritz-Carlton room, so if you're ever curious, if you ever want to go hit up Ritz-Carlton or you're out here in Amelia Island, you got some deep pockets, come check it out. So of course, as always, you can check out the rest of my videos on MatthewMaley.com, or if you're up on YouTube, you can search for Matthew Maley Poker. No, just Matthew. MatthewMailey.com. Yeah, just MatthewMailey.com on YouTube. Wow. I shouted that out. I really do need to get some sleep. But of course, as always, on YouTube, I would really appreciate if you drop me a comment, tell me why my video's right or wrong, leave me a little note, whatever, subscribe to the channel, like the video, that'd be awesome. As always, you can follow your boy up on Twitter. I apologize, I've been slacking off. My Twitter app got deleted off my phone, and just got it back up on there, so I did some tweeting over the college football and was going back and forth with some people. But of course, you can always hit me up on there at Matthew Mailey. And until the next time, well, holla at your boy. Oh, I forgot to shout out Facebook, Matthew Mailey Poker. Search for me, like it. Keep track of all my larger posts on there. Twitter's good for that 150 and less, but sometimes your boy just got to rattle off, obviously, like 30 minutes later. Shout out to anybody who stuck with it through this whole thing. Amazing, my longest video for a movie review. Well, probably. I don't know, I'm not watching the time, but my longest review is for a crap movie. Well, whatever. Until the next one, your boy's out. Time to go back to vacation. Peace, y'all.